The following program is brought to you by Total Theater Online. The views expressed do not necessarily represent those of the staff or management of WGBB. You're listening to the station that serves your community, 1240 WGBB. And now it's time for Dave's Gone By with David Lefkowitz.
There goes the Daverhood. Welcome everybody to Dave's Gone By, an hour of talk radio, music, and comedy brought to you every week at this time by Hewlett Minuteman Press, the delicious Tondura Grill, the Monetary Berkshire Financial Group, and Website United. It takes a lot of sponsors to make a great show. It takes a lot of sponsors to make a crappy show, too, but we try and make a great one every week. 7 to 8 p.m. Thursday nights for smart talk, silly talk, special talk, and music. I call it Dave's Gone By because I'm Dave. Dave Lefkowitz, radio personality, humorist, journalist, and music aficionado. I hope you were listening to the program last week, because my guest was one of the legends in popular music, Neil Sedaka. We played his hits, we played some Yiddish songs he'd been recording recently, and we charted his career of more than 45 years in the song-making business. This week, on Dave's Gone By, we stay musical, but at a very different end of the spectrum. A week ago, we chatted with a world-famous veteran of the Top 40 universe. This week, newcomers, two guys who hadn't even been born when the Captain and Tennille were doing Love Will Keep Us Together, let alone when Sedaka and Howard Greenfield were turning out all those hits from the Brill Building. Our guests tonight are two young fellas, two young whippersnappers, trying to make their own way in the music business, Jordan Pier, who plays guitar, and Soda, S-O-D-A, like the beverage, soda, who's the singer-songwriter. Their band, their duo, is called One Last November. And as I mentioned last week, I didn't know who they were until they contacted me several weeks ago. Soda wrote an email explaining the band, saying that they were a homegrown Long Island entity trying to get airplay, trying to build audiences for their gigs. And I honestly didn't pay much attention, just polite emails back saying thank you very much, keep me posted, maybe in the summer. But Soda kept emailing me and being so persistent and conscientious, sending me a promo CD and updating me on his gigs and his website. He won me over, and it put me in mind of something I learned from Joe Franklin, of all people, many years ago. I interviewed him for a New Jersey magazine called Fast Lane. I don't even know if they're still in existence, and Joe gave me a lot of the stock answers and shtick jokes that he gave everybody. But you could tell he mostly meant them. Like, it's nice to be important, but it's more important to be nice. And then about how people got booked on his old show, his TV show, which, if you remember, was a mix of old-time, really famous people, and also book writers and chefs and trivia experts and folks you've never, ever heard of and under other circumstances would cross the street to get away from. But he mixed them all up. That was part of the show's madness. So I asked him, how did people get on his show? And the corollary question, how do people succeed in show business in general? And Joe said, and I'll never forget it, be persistent, be nice, always be nice and courteous and polite, but always be persistent, don't give up. Which is a pretty flawless piece of advice for just about anything you want in life, but crucial in showbiz. And it's a lesson not lost on Soda and Jordan Pier, whose charm and persistence have paid off and brought them here tonight as my guests in the Daverhood. They're the band One Last November, and they're going to play a couple of songs live, plus a track or two off their self-titled EP. Should be fun. So do stay with us for the next 55 minutes, because we have that, we have the weekly news gone by, and who knows what else. But what I do know is that this program is rated DGB-13, the Dave's Gone By equivalent of PG-13. So if you're worried about your children listening to the demon rock and roll, well, now's your chance to pull them away from the radio, which the FCC worries could warp their fragile little minds, and make them go out and play. So when the next Al-Qaeda terror attacks do happen, they'll be the first ones on their blocks to see it. But if you and your kids can handle it, we're going to play some music. we're going to talk, we're going to have a great hour with One Last November, and it all starts right after this. What's playing on Broadway? I'll tell you what's playing on Broadway, and I'll do it by checking Performing Arts Insider. Off-Broadway, off-Broadway, off-Broadway. You keep adding offs, they'll keep adding listings. Who's in the cast? What's it about? Is it good? Can you bring the kids? Performing Arts Insider is the theater guide. Call 516-295-1511, 516-295-1511, or go to TotalTheater.com and click on Performing Arts Insider.
Oh, Super Mortgage Man, won't you come to my aid?
What is it, little Bertha? Monthly payments got you down?
Oh, yes, I'm still paying 9% on my house.
Holy refi, little Bertha. Why not just open a vein?
I know, Super Mortgage Man. Not only that, my parents want to buy a condo, but there are so many ads and they get so confused.
I know, little Bertha. Old people are like that, but why did you summon me for my vacation?
What else could I do?
You don't need a superhero. Just call Berkshire Financial Group.
Berkey, who do I?
Shut up, little Bertha. Berkshire Financial Group on the web at easymoney.com. Mortgages, home equity loans, free financing. They do it right, they do it with care, and always with integrity, just like Super Mortgage Man.
But are they licensed?
Of course they are, you ninny, by banking departments in New York State, Pennsylvania, New Jersey, and Connecticut.
Gosh, they sound important. Maybe we don't qualify.
Humility does not become you, little Bertha. In fact, it renders you obnoxious. And if you'd only check easymoney.com, you'd see they specialize in tough cases, tailoring programs to fit your needs. You can even try their online mortgage calculator.
My parents don't know from computers.
Can they use a telephone?
Why, sure.
Well, then give them this number, 866-500-5055.
Is that long distance?
No, it's toll-free, okay? 866-500-5055.
Could you repeat that?
866-500-5055.
Golly gee, Super Mortgage Man.
Is there anything else before I get back to my luau?
What was that number again?
Get it! I don't know how Batman stands it. Welcome back to Dave's Gone By and the News Gone By for this Thursday, June 3rd, 2004. Time for just a couple of stories this week from a soda jerky perspective. In democracy news, the Associated Press reports that political advertising targeting Hispanic voters has gotten much more sophisticated over just the past few years. Since Hispanics are the nation's largest growing minority group, candidates try to reach them with a wide variety of techniques and issues. The ads are culturally sensitive and direct, not just English commercials translated into Spanish. It's a long overdue step, one that, surprisingly, the Republicans took long before the Democrats woke up and smelled the el exigente. Still, one can't blame liberals for going slowly on this, since anything racially sensitive has the potential to backfire badly. Case in point, Michael Dukakis's disastrous Look at Me, I'm a Pinata campaign of 1996. In entertainment news, Ringling Brothers and Barnum and Bailey circus performer Spanky the Clown was arrested last week on 10 counts of sexual exploitation of a minor. An FBI sting operation found more than 2,000 downloads of child pornography on his computer. Sounds more like Spanky the Monkey than Spanky the Clown. No, but Spanky says he hopes to put all this behind him and stay with the circus, manning the big top tent. Unfortunately, authorities think he means the big top tent in his pants. In television news, MTV plans to launch Logo, a new cable channel in 2005. Logo will cater to gay and lesbian viewers, now seen as a growing market, thanks to popular shows like The L Word and Queer Eye for the Straight Guy. MTV executives say the channel will be just as professional and high-class as any other cable station, although it will be the first channel specifically designed to smell vaguely like Clorox. In literary news, of sorts, a German historian told a Berlin newspaper last week that Hitler's only surviving relative would be entitled to royalties from sales of Mein Kampf should he decide to pursue them. After the war, the Allies assigned the rights to Hitler's assets to Bavaria, but Peter Raubel, the son of Hitler's nephew, could contest that arrangement and keep whatever the book makes for himself. Granted, the book is still officially banned in Germany, with new editions not allowed to be published. But it's a moot point anyway. Mr. Raubel told the same paper that he wasn't interested in the Mein Kampf money. He said, quote, "Yes, I know the whole story about Hitler's inheritance, but I don't want anything to do with it. I only want to be left alone." Unquote. That said, Raubel did add that he was trying to option 2 screenplays by Himmler, a comic book by Eva Braun, and Joseph Mengeles' TV script for a wacky reality series set in a hospital. Speaking of Germany, Hamburg audiences got a treat last weekend when they were entertained at a concert by the first Viennese vegetable orchestra. Yes, it's just what it sounds like. A 9-piece ensemble with every instrument made out of a veggie. There was a carrot flute, a cucumber saxophone, and a pumpkin double bass. Said one audience member, quote, "I would never have thought you could get sound out of a cucumber," unquote. Of course, she didn't mention whether her husband ever used a cucumber to get sounds out of her. No, but seriously, the orchestra members told Reuters that their instruments are carved fresh 1 hour before each performance. And then, at the end of the concert, the instruments, no joke, the instruments are made into vegetable soup. I think it's really cute and a great idea. I wish we had something like that in this country. Unfortunately, Americans won't know what it's like to be entertained by a vegetable, that is, until Roy Horn gets back on stage. And that's the news gone by for June 3rd, 2004. Please send your comments, opinions, and rutabaga banjos to Dave's Gone By. P.O. Box 62, Hewlett, New York, 11557-0062. Dave's Gone By, Box 62, Hewlett, New York, 11557-0062. You can also email me, davesgoneby@aol.com. I always love getting your feedback, positive and negative, about the show. It means a lot that people are not only listening, but responding to and being interactive with what I do here. So write to me, and sometimes I'll even read your letters on the air, name withheld upon request. So send me ideas, send me constructive criticism, send me really expensive gifts, whatever you want to share. But please, no more copies of Hitler's book. They make me uncomfortable. Back after this. Sir, what are you doing?
Nothing.
Are you photocopying your butt?
Yeah, isn't it cool? I want to send lots of copies.
Not in a public library.
I know, it's so expensive here, 25 cents a cheek.
No, I mean, why not go to Hewlett Minuteman Press?
Hewlett Minuteman Press?
1315 Broadway in Hewlett. They can make copies, they can laminate it, print it in a booklet, put it on a mug.
My ass on a mug. Wow.
Call 516-569-5577. 516-569-5577. And hey, stop it! You can't copy that!
But what do I put on the other side of the mug?
And now, the GBB Weekend Medley. Long Island's dating, Friday 6 o'clock. Bonnie D. Graham with lots of singles talk. She takes your phone calls and interviews her guests. Long Island's dating 'cause Bonnie is the best. Redman Music Show, Mr. Redman Music Show, 7:30 Saturday night, independent music makes you feel alright on the Redman Music Show, is the place where you should go. Sundays at 7, make sure that you are home. For fast-paced right-wing politics, your world with Joe Salzone. He tries to keep an open mind and sort out what is true. If you like a good debate, then Joe Salzone's for you. Long Island's Dating, Fridays at 6, Redman, Saturdays at 7:30, and Joe Salzone, Sundays at 7. Make it music to your ears. I can't give dream away. Welcome back to Dave's Gone By on AM 1240 WGBB Freeport and AM 1240 WGBB.com. And it's time for a segment called Dave's Got Guests. And usually I have to amend that to take off the last S because I usually have only one guest. But today I have two, and they're the two and only members of a band called One Last November, which features Jordan Pier on guitar, and also a fellow named Soda on vocals and the lyrics. So we're going to welcome Jordan and Soda to Dave's Gone By. Hi, guys.
Hey, Dave. How are you?
Thanks. Thanks for coming over to WGBB. Tell me about One Last November.
All right, let me
Mrs. Soda talking.
Say a little something, and then maybe we'll let Jordan take the floor. Well, Jordan had a bunch of music together, and I was in another band. I still am. And he was looking for a singer, so I said, let me give it a shot. And we just kind of gelled. I mean, we had known each other for a really long time. We went to school together and stuff. We never worked together, though. We always, I'd go see his band, he'd go see my band. And we just decided to work together. You know, we had some stuff down, and I just wanted to do more stuff. And vocally, it's cool because usually I play guitar and sing with my other bands, but with this, I'm kind of hands-free. Mm-hmm. So, live shows are going to be really cool. It'll be total audience participation on my part. You know, I'm all about that, and it just worked so well, and we rolled with it. You know, I'm like, this is what I got, and he's like, this is what I got, and went together, and it was really great.
Well, also, you're in a couple of bands right now. Why not just group them all together and have different facets of the same band? What's the difference between doing that and having separate entities?
Well, we are hugely influenced by a lot of different stuff. And what me and Jordan do is different than what I do with my other band, his Mighty Robot. And he has his own solo thing that he does that's, you know, it's more instrumentals and soundtrack kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, actually, I did that for years and years. Prior to giving Soda the tracks on this disc, I was actually just going to do instrumental stuff. But, like Soda said, we had been friends for about 8 years before we... for whatever reason, before it took us that long to think to work together. And, it's like you said, it's you team up with different people with different influences. Like Soda's other band, his Mighty Robot, his influences are alike with the kids in that band. Mm-hmm. They might differ from the similarities and the influences that he and I have together.
Right. So were you friends through going to clubs or music, or was it from school or that kind of, or what?
Everything, really.
Yeah.
School, clubs, shows, music. You know, I mean... How I met Jordan. I was walking down the hall in my school actually, and this little kid comes up to me. And he seemed so tiny at the time. And he's like,
at the time.
"Excuse me, sir, do you sing?" And I'm like, "I do actually." He's like, "Well, my band's looking for a singer." And I was like, "Well, I'm in a band now, but that's really cool." He's like, "But you have this image that we're looking for," and I'm like, "That's cool, man. We'll be buddies."
It's funny. I went to music college. I was like, "Oh, I'm gonna meet 1,000 different people that fit," and I walked through the halls, and I was like, "What? There's no one here." And I saw him.
It was pretty weird.
At the time, we were both heavily into. I mean, I guess we still are influenced by, but heavily into different type of music, Marilyn Manson, Nine Inch Nails, that sort of thing.
Yeah, a darker kind of heavier mood back then. But we're just so eclectic, and that's why merging different bands is just good for our palette of all these different tastes and variety and whatnot.
One thing I should have mentioned that people may not know is that you're a couple of Long Island kids. I mean, we're not talking about some band that came from Kansas or from the Seattle grunge scene or something. You guys, what is it, like Belmore or something? What's?
I was born in Queens actually.
This is Soda talking, yeah.
Moved to Long Island and lived in East Rockaway for most of my life, and then I just moved to Baldwin about a year and a half ago. Jordan actually helped me find that house.
Yeah.
He worked for real estate for a hot minute, and he was like, "I got a house." I'm like, "I got to move there because I need a house."
Yeah, I was born in Belmore. I still live there. I'm finally moving away from good old Belmore. I'm going to Island Park to get back to the beach. I think I had a real estate license for about a year, and Soda was one of three things. I think I got into that industry just to find Soda an apartment and got the heck out of it. Yeah,
shoot, I needed a place.
It worked out perfectly. Yeah,
but it is kind of. I mean, when people think of independent bands, and I should mention, Soda has kind of it's not a mohawk, but it's an interesting haircut with a high blonde dyed top and then very short around the rest.
Yeah. And usually it's shaved actually, but it's grown back.
Usually shaved, and he's also got tattoos up and down the arms, and then a kind of a red felt armband thing and a red shirt. Well, the
Wow.
shirt is a T-shirt, and then you're more classically sort of Long Islandy kid, Jordan. Except for you've got the goatee thing.
I had to have signed the piercings. Don't forget the piercings. But I have headphones on, so you can't see them.
I don't want to know where the piercings do.
So it actually teases me all the time for being too preppy and.
But
he's really not that preppy, though.
But the question is, people would not expect you to maybe come from Long Island, but then to go somewhere else. But you guys are here and staying here. How does it feel to be an independent band in suburbia rather than a place like New York or an urban
tough.
center?
It's really
kind of
tough.
weird.
There's like zero scene, and I mean, all the people that you talk to, they're like, "Oh, I'm in a band, and I'm working with this person, that person." So everybody's got a record deal, everybody's doing production deal, whatever, and it's like. I'm so tired of hearing about like this scene and how it's helpful, because it's not. I mean, I've tried to be a part of it, but it didn't work out. I mean, I've been doing this for a long time. My old band, we were too crazy for Long Island. We were too crazy, and I mean, we played in the city, and it worked better. But I mean, this is what we love to do, and
but in other words, you made the choice to still, you took an apartment not in or near New York or Brooklyn, but here, and you're living here.
I have to stay here because I've got my bands here. Jordan's
Same
here.
situation, family, bands.
Yeah,
his
Mighty Robots here.
And then,
friends, family.
I used to joke when it rained every day last summer that Long Island was like Seattle without the music scene. But it's what it is we can live here, you can have an apartment, you can do your thing, you can work full time because you got to pay the bills, but you're only a train ride away from the city, which is cool.
That's true.
You can go into the city, you can drive into the city.
So you play the New York clubs as well as the Long Island. Well, where do you play?
We just put the CD out about 3 weeks ago, and our live show is pretty tight now.
Yeah.
So we're having a CD. Let me get this in there. We're having a CD release party June 18th at this place called the Someplace Else. It's on 1005 Fulton Street, number A. In East Farmingdale. It's $5 to get in. It's our first show. Starts at 9 p.m. There's 2 other really, really cool acts opening up for us. We put the show together. It's going to be like a really cool artistic evening. Artistic people, spoken word, music. It's going to be awesome. So everybody should come to that.
All right. Well, I
didn't
realize that first gig because I know you from also back when you were promoting his Mighty Robot, which is still existent.
Oh, still completely. Our CD is going to come out soon.
They played last night, actually.
Where?
We did an open mic at this place called The Cup in Wantaw.
Oh, cool.
And we just played at the Someplace Else actually a few weeks ago, and we're playing in Belmore at a movie theater, actually.
Cool.
And that's going to be real cool because we're playing before and after the film. And they're giving us free popcorn and a free movie. So that's like a badass evening for us. It's art and film and music. And that's where we are.
Popcorn.
This is WGBB, so we can't afford anything free to give you, but we're going to force you to play anyway.
Nice.
So how about playing...
It's all about the music.
Yeah. Another number off... it can be off the CD or something that isn't even on the CD.
Out on me.
Yeah, second track from the CD, Out on Me. We'll do the acoustic version of that now, and you'll love it.
All right, here's One Last November.
Which demon can I be if I've been them all already? See, I'm out of ideas again. I'm out of ideas. Take another second. Take another kiss. I wanna save your life tonight. Don't take it out on me. Just get in my car. Don't take it out on me, please. Tell you what it's like. Line up all my friends again. See, I have an idea this time. Yeah, I have an idea. Take another look. Take another chance, 'cause I wanna save your life tonight. Don't take it out on me. Just get my car. Don't take it out on me. Yeah. I wanna save your life tonight. Don't take it out on me. Just get my car. Don't take it out on me, please. Try to swim to the shore till you feel your feet on the surface. Time to talk, just to get by. Find your way. Ooh, find your way. Ooh, I wanna save your life tonight. Don't you take it out on me now. Just get my car. Don't take it out on me, please.
All right, One Last November, out on me. Actually, they're in with me at the studios in Babylon of WGBB-AM 1240. Well, the master's in Freeport, but we're really in Babylon. And it's
We won't tell.
AM 1240, WGBB.com, here with Jordan and Soda from One Last November. A couple of questions for the Soda Pop man. Oh, that's awful and like a crappy, stupid thing a DJ would say. But
No, it's all right. All right.
Question, first of all, usual old question we ask of everybody as a songwriter's music or lyrics first, or it depends on the song, or what?
Music or lyrics first. I used to just have like a book full of lyrics, and I used to kind of just write a song and hoped that one of those would kind of gel with the music. But I guess, I don't know, it's kind of just like sitting down with your guitar, chilling, writing like a couple of chords, progression, and humming along or getting some inspiration from that day or something that happened, years ago even, or future endeavors that I might encounter. It's like a sensual process, really.
Does Jordan never help you in that sensual process?
Jordan gets sensual all the time. Jordan helps. We help each other. We are One Last November. This is what we do. So we're,
So are the songs a collaboration as far as in the writing or?
Ultimately, yeah, everything's a collaboration, I'd say.
Yeah, no, definitely. It's just, I had lyrics, he had some music, we threw it together. We put out a CD, self-titled 4-song disc, And, I mean, that was as much of a collaboration as it could have been for, just coming together and going to the studio and making a disc, which I have never even done. I mean, this is a quick process, and it was really good.
Yeah, it took about 4 months to get the whole thing done.
Wow.
As for collaborating, we're a team.
It's a real CD.
Completely.
I mean, it's not just sort of like a homemade thing. There's nice cover art.
No,
code,
we put it all on the line. I think it looks gorgeous. It sounds great. Thanks to Mike Sapone.
Sapone Productions and Beth Page. He's a genius.
Yeah, he is. He's a badass. And
cool.
He worked with us so well. He made us sound our best, and we went in there, ready for whatever. And it's gorgeous. I'm pleased as punch with it.
Question about the singing style. Because that isn't necessarily, if you were in a school choir or something like that, you wouldn't sing the way you do. There's a certain way that you tail off and then go into kind of a throaty Liz Phair kind of, little almost hiccup thing. Where did that all develop?
Over time. I always sang when I was little. I grew up, my sisters were big into disco, and I always remember, singing It's Raining Men and all that. When I was, 4. 3 or 4, because I was still in Queens, and I moved to Long Island when I was 4 or 5. And my first, I had the first thing that I got, I think, was a Lionel Richie and a Twisted Sister 45.
All right.
So I've been versatile since day one, and I was big into like hair metal, Bon Jovi, Stryper, White Lion. I grew up with all that stuff. I was always into rock and roll, but my tastes are so eclectic and my spectrum of music is so enormous. My CD collection, I mean, you could fill this room with it.
But if you
I
had to
love
pick
music.
one or two major influences, or people that you love who aren't specific influences of the band.
Yeah, major influences, people that I love totally.
Mm-hmm.
I will just, I'll say a couple quick. Sponge, this band, they had a few hits back in the mid-'90s, and they are hugely influential because they're not really popular anymore, and they're still playing shows, amazing shows, putting out great records. They're
and
amazing.
They're of a punkish or
they're like alternative rock, but their new stuff is actually more of like a punk tinged kind of thing.
Yeah, old pop.
And then a friend of mine up in Canada, Rob Sabo, is a huge influence. He's a beautiful human, a beautiful musician. He is in a band called Plasticine as well. And I mean, there's so many. I love a lot of Canadian artists. The Canadian music scene is amazing, and I try to get there as often as I can. I'm huge on road trips, so I'm a promotional whore. So if you've got an ear, you will know what's going on if you got ears.
Well, and Jordan, what about your influences?
I guess my number one band, and this is actually recent if you consider how long I've been playing guitar and writing music, is a Vertical Horizon. They're a band from Connecticut, and they don't have a huge presence here. And I think it's funny. People, if they've never heard of a band, they kind of think that, they must not be that big. But this band has played Japan, South Africa. I mean, they've been all over the world. They're doing pretty much what we're trying to do. They do it enough. They're successful enough that they don't have to do anything else. They can devote their life. And Vertical Horizon has been a huge influence. And they have gone from an acoustic band to a top 40 pop band, and they've had a few hits on the radio. But I mean, they've just been that. And as far as I've always loved instrumental music, I've always loved soundtrack music. And I mean, like I said, for a long time I wrote that. Geniuses like Danny Elfman, wrote this Simpsons theme, and I think that's him. Yeah, and John Williams, the Star Wars guy. I mean, stuff like that has always just turned me on. I like music where whether it's got lyrics or not, the listener can come up with their own story. I've always loved songs where one guy can kind of think, oh, this reminds me of an ex-girlfriend I loved, and somebody else could say, hey, I want this to be my wedding song or played at my funeral or something. I love music like that. That's very
music at your funeral day.
People, that you can kind of tailor to your own opinion. So anything like that, any type of music like that, and
cool.
I mean, it goes from, like I said, Marilyn Manson and Nine Inch Nails to over the years to Fleetwood Mac was
right, baby.
So
right, spice of life.
Very, very eclectic. Yeah, life's too short to just.
I agree.
To focus on one thing.
Before you do another acoustic song, because I can see during you just want to play that guitar, you're holding it like, I'm ready to
I'm like, okay.
But, if I don't ask this, everybody's going to wonder, why the hell didn't he ask it? Soda, your name.
What is that about?
S-O-D-A.
S-O-D-A, like the beverage, baby. The tastiest drink you'll ever have.
Which is not your birth name, or?
No, it is, in fact.
It is my name. It is my name, my real name, but it is not my birth name.
Did you legally change it too, or you just use it?
No, I use it, but I've used it since I was like 15, and I'd say 80% of the people that I surround myself with know me as that and call me that and respect me enough.
But the first time, was you choosing it, or somebody said?
Make a long story short, I was out with a couple of friends, and we were just walking down the street, and we were like the weird freaky kids in our high school at that time and everything. And we wound up talking about this movie called The Outsiders, and
the Coppola film. With Matt, what's his name?
Matt Dillon.
Yeah.
I remember Essie
Hinton wrote it.
So we were talking about that and how we were like the greasers of our town. Not that we were dirty or anything, just that we were like the outcasts. Kind of, we had our own little group, and like it went. We were like, oh, you'd be Pony Boy, and then this, that, and like people just, I was like Soda, and then like the.
Oh, was there soda in that?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
The three brothers were Pony Boy, Soda, and Dallas.
Cool.
And,
I think that was guy from Dirty Dancing was one of the brothers.
Patrick Swayze was one of the Dari.
Dallas.
I think Dallas was another.
Rob Lowe was it?
I think Tom Waits was in there.
Lots of really
good book,
vibrant young men in that film. They went on to do huge stuff, and they're all awesome.
Well, let's hear some music. Let's hear another tune off the CD. Do you want to again do Reason Why, or pick another one?
Yeah, why don't we?
We'll do Reason Why.
Let's do pared down version of it. Yeah,
stripped down, and then the studio version. This,
well, I know that here where it starts and what
we got the goods here. So
here's One Last November doing their acoustic in the studio version. Never hear it anywhere else.
First time.
Well, I mean, if you go to a club, you'll hear it, but you'll never hear it anywhere this way right here on GBB with Reason Why.
1, 2, 3, 4. I can't give you reason why all our lives we fight but fail. It's true. Wish what hold on to, dream of and that we feel will be a promise of solution to all these questions that will never have their end, never see our end. Whoa, now this will be alright. Now this will take some time. So you send me something, mister, quick before I quit this life. There are dreams inside our heads that help create our souls. What can you feel here? What can you feel here? Tell me what happens when they are crushed under feet of those who care not for our lives, but just for themselves. All this will be alright. Now this will take some time. So you tell me something, mister, quick before I quit this life. I might never get much older, but I will stand here further. You will try to get the heart out of my face.
Hey, I asked you about your name. I didn't ask how you got the name One Last November.
It's kind of a secret for right now. Sorry.
I guess it actually comes, quick snippet of that secret would be me and Jordan were kind of actually forced out of the homes that we grew up in.
Okay.
And not because of family issues, just because, well, maybe even slightly in mine.
It's both. I mean,
it's just
financial situations and everything that's been going on over the years here on Long Island, and that was actually the...
Yeah. I mean, that sounds like an interesting story. I mean, I would be curious if you're not afraid to divulge anything, but what are we talking about?
I guess November was the one last month that I was able to stay in my house, personally. And I called Soda up. I'm sure you recall. I mean, the night I called you up.
No, you never called me, Jordan.
I said, hey, I was thinking, since we're doing this after almost a decade of knowing each other, we might as well make it count and not have the name's got to reflect something that went on between the two of us. And I said, you went through a similar experience. I was thinking One Last November is the name because that was the one last month that I was able to stay in my house.
We were both kind of in the fall, I think, actually.
Yeah, it was in the fall months. So
and our music is just straight up. I mean, lyrically, it's as honest as it's gonna get. I mean, it's from the heart, really. And I mean, how you just said, like, quit this life with One Last November. It's not that might not even sound like the most positive thing, but seriously, we are seriously a positive thing. We might be like kind of moody and dark or whatever, especially on the record. I guess it has that appeal, but it's life music, man.
It's about. I mean, neither one of us are I guess, bitter about anything that happened because it's life, and who knows if things hadn't worked out the way they had in the past, however crappy it might have seemed, if things in the future or the present wouldn't have worked out exactly the way they had. So even though, things seem like hell when you go through them, I'm actually thankful for a lot of stuff that went on, and it bore a pretty interesting band name, so... that's really what it's all about, I guess.
A couple more questions before we do have to take our leave here. But do either of you have full-time gigs, or is this apart from music? I don't mean just this band, but
we've got the day job business going on where we suffer through each day. Actually, luckily we both have access to emails, so me and Jordan harass each other all day through email.
If we put as much time into those jobs as we did emailing each other, we'd own the companies that we work for.
Yeah, right.
Well, I guess you're not going to tell me which companies you work for.
No, man. Plug no companies. Yeah. We screw the companies, down with the corporate.
So does the insurance biz, and I've always been in sales personally, because...
Cool.
I got a quick tongue.
I know. At least one of you had to take off like half the day to be here, so I do really appreciate that.
Yeah, I took half a day. He took a whole day.
A couple of other quickie questions. You're getting into the music scene just as it's in really kind of a revolution. I mean, not just actually. I mean, when CDs replaced records, that was one thing, but now nobody even knows really what to make of online radio and internet sales and downloadables and iPods. I mean, where's that at? As far as what you think about it and where your place is in it.
As for like computers and stuff and downloading and piracy, I guess, or what you call it, whatever. I mean, if you want to burn CDs, that's cool and everything. But I love music so much, and these artists are so important to me that I'm going to give them whatever kind of cash I can to support them, and hopefully they'll put out another record. I mean, they don't see anything off their CD sales, if they're on like a major label. Yeah. And through playing shows, I'm one to go there and buy your pins, your stickers, your shirts, everything. And, I love that. I've been doing that since I was young, going to shows and just loving it, living it, buying. I mean, I love these people so much, I mean, I'm like the fan you want to have, really. And I hope that one day that, we could be in that situation, and We'll sell our stuff for as cheap as we can. People come see us, hang out, and it'll be great. It'll be great.
But I thought it was funny when all that garbage was going on with Napster, and it seems to be the bands at the forefront of suing this kid or whatever his name was, or were all the ones.
Well, there was a 14-year-old girl and then another guy.
Yeah, the bands that were in the forefront of suing are all the bands that had $1 zillion.
Yeah, like Metallica. Do they really need another
couple of cents per download?
Yeah,
but the funny thing is that when we get on. People download us for free.
Yeah.
I was like, God, please put us on Napster. I want us on Napster.
Yeah,
I want us on
download it. Come to our shows, videotape us, handheld record us, tell your friends.
Because eventually there will be some money.
Well, at the stage in this game, we're not going to make $1 million over selling the CD. It's not the way. Obviously, the goal is to further the career, go through the necessary steps. So as many people, whether it's free or not, we're going to be in the negative now. But whoever hears it is one step closer to that. So if they want to download it, they want to stream it, they want to burn a copy of the CD, let them. That's
not about not about the money at all.
No,
or else this would be pointless. Our music would be contrived and boring.
What is it? 1 out of 100,000 actually makes a bunch of money. If we could, I think, and you agree on this, if we could make enough money to support ourselves and not have to have another job, you'd be happy doing that.
Yeah, just to live and do this would be a wonderful thing. I mean, I could make the same amount of money I'm making now. I get by on that.
Right.
So just give me a couple $100
Give us what we deserve.
Some music, and it's all good.
Yeah.
As long as we can afford the roof over our head. And
and as long as you're doing what you love, I guess that's what life is all about. Yeah, chips.
Wow. Well, that if ever there was kind of an end line, that was it.
That was it,
yeah. I can either play something to close us out off the CD, or you can go out live. I think I prefer that if you can do it. Do you have another one prepared?
Oh, we can do that, yeah. Let me just get in here. Check us out on the web at www.onelastnovember.com. CD Baby is selling our disc at www.cdbaby.com/CD/OLN. My other band, His Mighty Robot, www.hismightyrobot.tv. And Jordan's other website, www.piermusic.net. I am
Piermusic.net.
Piermusic.net. Ooh, I'm getting the belt for that one. Shoot. I was doing so good.
Yeah, you were. You got the .tv.net.org.
Well, is there one website where people can go and it's linked to all the rest of them?
They're all linked to each other. They're all linked to each other.
So what's the one that you most want to?
OneLastNovember.com.
Yeah, OneLastNovember.com. But you can go check out our other stuff on there and our friends' bands.
And man, go to homestarrunner.com while you're at it, because that's just the funniest website on the web. But I'll leave that up to you guys to check that out.
If you do visit our site, though, go to the links and go check all those links out, because it's all good. It's all good stuff.
We're all just trying to get each other along there. So
well, check these guys out. They're Soda and Jordan Pier, the duo of One Last November. They're just starting to do gigs, but by the time you hear this and then it's repeated, maybe a few weeks later, they'll do gig after gig after gig.
See us,
Look for them, buy their pins, buy their CDs, or download their CDs.
Stickers.
Yeah, preferably buy them. And take us out. What song are you going to do?
So what do you want to do? Feel to Suffer, I guess?
Sure.
Yeah?
Sure. Let's
Feel to Suffer.
Yep.
One Last November.
You shaking on this?
No shaking, just my booty, baby.
Okay.
Bet you're gonna go. Bet you're gonna put me down again. Hope you see that you lied all this time. Hope you never feel. I hope you never ever touch. Hope you only wish, and I hope you don't get that much. Oh, 'cause truth is the surface. I hope that it bleeds. You try, oh yeah. See, you're just a shell of yourself. Let me tell you, I will crush all of the bones that hold you up. Peel off all the layers. You know I wanna see which of your faces comes out first. I hope you never feel. No, I hope you never ever touch. Hope you only wish, 'cause your 15 minutes are up. The way it will go, 'cause truth, it will surface. I hope that it bleeds you dry, oh yeah. See, you're just a shell of yourself. Let me tell you, I will crush all of these bones that hold you up. Forward, forward, no backward emotions. Why can't you see that you are not what you want to be today? So suffer. How does it feel to suffer in forward, no backward emotion? So why can't you see that you are not what you want to be today? Suffer. How does it feel to suffer? 'Cause truth, it will surface, and I hope that it bleeds you dry. Oh yeah. Till you're just a shell of yourself. Let me tell you that I will crush all of the bones that hold you up.
Start with mulligatawny soup, then try an appetizer of tandoori quail, have a tasty garlic naan, and the main course of lamb kebab, prawn masala, or buttered chicken, topped off by a glass of mango lassi. Hungry? Then visit the Tandoor Grill. Fine cuisine, great service, nice people. 222 Sunrise Highway in Rockville Center, 516-766-4440. See the menu at tandoorgrill.com. It's India-licious. Welcome back to Dave's Gone By. Just a little more time to finish up this episode, which I hope you enjoyed. Special thanks to Soda and Jordan Pier from One Last November for their company and their music. OneLastNovember.com is their website. They have photos, MP3s you can listen to, and, of course, merchandise and music you can buy. They're having a CD release party June 18th at the Someplace Else pub in East Farmingdale. That's at 8 o'clock, and it goes on with some other bands, probably past 11. Call 631-249-3490. And they're also doing a free short concert at Soda's House in Baldwin. That's June 25th. If you want more details on that, you gotta go to their website, OneLastNovember.com. And speaking of websites, check out mine, davesgoneby.com. You can see pictures, read an archive of what we've done on the air the past 2.5 years. You can find our advertising rates and how to buy episodes of Dave's Gone By, including this one on CD and cassette. davesgoneby.com is the website. davesgoneby@aol.com is the email address for your questions, your comments, your outpouring of love and devotion. And speaking of love and devotion, special thanks, as always, to my wife Joyce. People wonder what she does while I'm busy futzing around doing all this. Well, she's teaching undergrad sociology, while working on her dissertation, while working part-time on a privacy and confidentiality website. Busy lady, wonderful wife. And some other busy people on this radio station. Mr. Redman, tracking those independent bands and artists like One Last November, and giving them airplay Saturday nights, 7:30 to 9. And after his show, it's the Mikey and Jimmy Show, tag team comedy evening zoo style, 9 to 10 Saturday nights. Sunday nights, it's my buddy boy Joe Salzone, conservative politics, sometimes with a smile, Sunday nights at 7. He also has a looser late evening version at 10. And Bonnie D. Graham, a veritable institution by now on WGBB, hosting Long Island's Dating, all about the single scene, Friday nights at 6. And did you think I would leave out all the busy people who help sponsor this show and keep it on the air, like Berkshire Financial Group, the mortgage team you need at EasyMoney.com, or Hewlett Minuteman Press, 1315 Broadway in Hewlett, for copying and printing and engraving and binding and adoption and rocket building, 516-569-5577, 569-5577, open Monday through Friday throughout the summer. Tell them Dave's Gone By sent you for a 10% discount. And speaking of 10% discounts, once you're done at Hewlett Minuteman, go for lunch or dinner at the Tandoor Grill, 222 Sunrise Highway in Rockville Center, right opposite the rail. Buffet lunches, grand suppers, even a 300-seat Bollywood lounge in the basement. Call 516-766-4440 or see the menu at tandoorgrill.com. Not tandoori, tandoor. Leave off the last I for India-licious. And if you mention Dave's Gone By, they'll leave off the last 10% for economical. I'll have to work on that, but you know what I'm getting at. And I'm afraid the thing I have to get at right now is the exit door, 'cause the show's over. But thank you for being my listeners tonight, and I hope you'll join me again next Thursday, June 10th, 7 p.m., for an entirely different episode, number 80, if you've been counting along at home. Until then, don't miss your days going by. This is Dave Lefkowitz. Good night. Soda, so good. Gone by.
I will go a merry way and jump the hedges first. Drink the clear, clean water for to quench my thirst.